Hi guys, it's George here at Optics Warehouse, and today I have something pretty special that we've been waiting for quite a long time, and that is the HIKMICRO ALPEX 4K Lite. So this video is going to serve very much as a first impressions and a user setup guide as well. I'm learning this along with you guys, so if it's comes across as very unrehearsed, that's because it isn't rehearsed. So without further ado, I say we get this open. I can already tell this is significantly lighter than the original Alpex. It feels like there's no scope in here. So we crack this open. And there it is. As you can already see, it's significantly shorter. The objective is loads smaller, and the controls are a lot more neatened up. I'll come back to that very shortly. Just go through what you get in the box. So that's it for what's in the box. In terms of there, you don't get the case like you did beforehand, but you get the HIKMICRO dual charger, user manual, lens cloth, and I believe those are for zeroing targets or patches, warranty card, and an 18650 battery. So that's the boring stuff. Here's the good stuff. So I did say this was going to be unrehearsed. I haven't done it before. I have had this out the box before and had a little look through it. So I'll start with what makes this special. So it's the 4K sensor, the same as in the Alpex, or its big brother Alpex, but with a much more reduced front end. As you can see there, that lens is pretty small. So it's going to be right at home on your rimfires, air rifles, stuff like that, and that's what they're pushing it toward. I do think though, that on some of your smaller centre fires, or if you've got a particularly heavy setup that you know is not going to recoil too harsh, this is going to be right at home on there too. I believe the only limiting factor with this is going to be the IR you put with it. Just to note, it doesn't come with one, there isn't one in that box, so you are going to have to add your own additional IR to it. Most of us are doing that anyway if we're trying to get the most out of these units. Laser rangefinder, there was a rumour that they were going to be nerfing this laser rangefinder to like 200 yards. I did have a quick go with it, and I got it out to 852 yards already, so that's not a lie. The thing that will limit the distance on this is that narrower objective lens. Because it's narrower, it means the further you go out, the more and more IR light you need. Doesn't mean you can't get out far with it, you just need more and more powerful IRs, that's all. But it's not necessarily what this is aimed at. So, quick walk around. Standard rubber eyepiece. Come in front of that, you've got the dioptic adjustment there. Coming forward, on this side, that's your USB port. Onto the tube body, that is your 30mm standard tube body. It's also where some of the batteries are housed for this, because there is an internal battery as well as a sideways mounted 18650. Talking of the turret cluster, here are the new control layout, and the dial here, the turning dial, it's positive, it's clicky, but it's not loud. So it makes it fits with a hunting sort of thing. You're not giving away your position, but you can still feel that you're doing something. The controls on top here, they are nice and separated. They are very tactile, easy to read. But again, with the brief play I've had with it already, I'm not looking up to see what the buttons do. You can work out just through tactile touch. Then on the side here, this is where the power button is now located. Press and hold to turn on. You can quick tap it to sleep mode the screen, and then you can also have an auto off feature as well. Going forward, that's your laser rangefinder module. This is a ballistic calculator as well, and I've had a quick little play with that. Setting up around an air rifle, so we are going to mount this in a little bit. We'll take it up to the land, shoot it. I'll go through how you zero this scope, how you set it up and get the most out of it. And we may even see how far we can shoot with it. And then, sorry, to finish the walk around, coming forward, you've got the, very similar to the original Alpex, the focus dial here, and then to finish it off, a front lens cap. Can't get over how light that is, it's mad. Specs wise, we're looking, as I said before, it's a 4K sensor, so it's as high a resolution image as you can get in a modern day night vision really. It's got a green mode, black and white mode, a yellow mode, and then a day color mode. Zoom is 3.5 to 20.5. Again, having the brief look around and play with it, the even 20 is fairly usable. I would say my initial impressions, especially if they're only really noticeable in the colour mode, the centre of your image is pin sharp. It's a little bit out of focus on that exterior image right at the edges. I think that's to do with going to a smaller objective. It's just the compromise that has to be made, where there's a smaller objective and the light bending outward, especially in colour mode. In black and white, it didn't seem to have the issue anywhere near as much. And let's face it, most of us who use something like this are going to be night shooting only, so it's not that big a deal. Without further ado, I'll get this mounted up and I'll see you up the land. Hi guys, so as promised, up in the field, doing some setup with the Alpex Lite. Basically at the moment, I'm just going to do our standard test. Going to look at target right in close and some of the ones further away. I was planning on showing you the menus and the setup, but as of now, we've got it just that little bit early where we can't connect it to the app and I can't film through the scope, so I can't show you zeroing it as I want to. So that's going to be a later video. Through no fault of scope or us, it's just we've got it early, so good problem to have. So I'm going to start recording through this and see what you guys think of the footage. It's a really bright day, so should see really high resolution on this. So without further ado, fill in there, and that was, as you can see, that piece of paper propped up, that was going to be my zeroing target. So that is about 20 odd yards away, I say. Let's range find it, 19 yards, there you go. Not bad for pacing it out. Let's go zoom in on that one for you. It's such a bright image. A little bit fuzzy. That's the 20 mag. Get that in. That's focused. Now, those circles I've drawn on the target, they're no bigger than a 10p piece. Like, it can see detail really easily. So I'll just back off the mag there. Let's go a little further afield. Let's take that deer there. That image is crystal clear. That is. Now, looking here, I know in the studio I said it wasn't edge to edge, but if you're using this on an air rifle or a rimfire where you don't need any eye relief, you can butt right up against it. It is edge to edge. It's really crystal clear. Let's ping the rangefinder on that one. So 141 yards. You can see it's telling me my drop 82.6 inches because I have set it up for air rifle. Even on our high mag there. Can I get that any better focused? It is a little fuzzy, admittedly, but all digital scopes are on their highest mag. But you could still shoot on that, and if we back off, that is just ridiculously clear. And let's go there. Little foxy. Again, just nice and sharp, really easy to see. If that was a real fox, you'd have no issue identifying and being confident pulling the trigger on it. One thing to just highlight as I'm scanning around, yeah, I've got about 140 yards in focus there, and I'm still, the foreground is still relatively in focus. A bit further afield is still pretty much in focus, and it's due to that smaller objective, making this a very versatile scope. Now, at night, when you're really trying to push out, that will become a limiting factor. You're going to need lots of IR light down range to compensate. But that's not what this was aimed at all. And you see, I just zoomed in on our furthest deer there. It's about 200 metres, 200 yards, something like that. And no problem at all. I'd still happily use this in the daytime. I think we've got to the point now where a digital scope can replace a daytime optic. I'm just going to end the recording there now. Right guys, so that's been the first preview and hopefully some of the first footage through the Alpex Lite. I think HIK have hit it out the park with this scope as of yet. There certainly isn't anything on the market as of yet that can compete with this. For sub £700, you're getting not a good value package, just one of the top end packages. HIK have done a really stellar job. So guys, I know I just said I couldn't do the setup video, but I think I found a way around it. So I'm going to give it a go, and if it works, this will make the cut. If not, don't know who I'm talking to. So, zeroing at 19 yards away. Now I know I'm on paper, you can already see there's a pellet strike there, because I get to test things before you guys see them. Just going to lock that tripod in, make life easy for myself. Helps if I start recording, doesn't it? So, looking back at that target now, about 19 yards away I think it was when we range found it. Hopefully this will record. If not, we'll think of something else. So I know I'm already on paper because I've already tried. That's what that paper target is there. As you can see, I've just brought up the menu, and now we scroll down to advanced settings and zeroing. Select there. So yeah, I want to be zeroing 1. You can now name your profiles. You can see I've named this air for air rifle. That's the type of reticule. I've selected the sort of mill hash style. There's your reticule colour. There's the centre colour. You can see I've gone black. Corrections. That is for... right. So it's not available at 100 frames per second. So I can just change that in here. Something to mention is... so this is going to break the recording now. But we can change the frame rate of this scope from 50 to 100. I had it in 100 just a minute ago, and the footage you've seen so far has been in 100. So, dropped it into 50. And we've started recording again. That's menu, advanced settings. Scroll up to zeroing. Corrections. So we want to tell it how far away that is. So we want to go 19. Press and hold to continue. Then we want to scroll down to zoom. I'm going to use 15. God, that image is clearer. It's clearer again on 50 frames per second. That's just madness. And now I'm going to hover over freeze, and I'm going to take a shot and see where it goes. At the moment I'm going to aim fairly central. Right, so you can see it's over to the right. Way over to the right. So what I'm going to do, bring it back over to my point of aim. And freeze. So now that image is frozen, I scroll down one to XY axis, and here is where I move my reticule. So on X, obviously doing my windage there. It was just a hit I on, wasn't it? Y, it's about there. Press and hold to save. Back up to freeze. Unfreeze. You can see the reticule has shifted. I'll put another round through and see if we're on. I'll go to that right hand circle. A lot closer. So we just repeat the process. What I'm going to do, before I do that, I'm just going to take one more shot, make it a little bit more obvious to myself. Well, you can see I pulled that a little bit, but we can see we need to come down. So what I am going to do, this time, I'm not going to freeze the image. You can see I've got a point of reference in the centre of the screen. So quick fine tuning adjustments are nice and easy to make with something like this. And to try and make it easier for you guys, I'm just going to shoot that blank corner in the top right. Hopefully this lands fairly near the crosshairs. High and right still. So, bring the crosshairs up. And again, quick fine tune. Same sort of deal again. And that is on enough for me. So to save, press and hold the select button. Press and hold the select button. Save parameters. OK. Exit the menus. Press and hold that button again. And we are good to go. So hopefully that's recorded all of that there. Recording succeeded. Sounds like it. So hopefully guys, that's given you a real insight to this scope and just how easy it is to function. This is a game changer of an optic, and there it just isn't anything on the market to touch it at the moment. You pair this with the right IR, you've got the best thing that could be to use for. You could use this for target hunting, target shooting at the range if you're just doing informal plinking easily. The optic quality on this is just, well, it's astounding if I'm being honest. There isn't anything better. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you want to find out more, please get in contact. I'll see you next time.